7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, and welcome to the Marketing Essentials podcast. Our unique team helps small businesses grow by providing essential marketing expertise.
Hello and welcome to the Marketing Essentials podcast. My name is Bill from W Parmentier Photography.
I'm Justin with Justin Kerr Design.
And I'm Alicia with the Spark Social.
And together we make up
The Marketing Essentials team. So today we have some very special guests with us on the podcast from Taylor Box, which is located in Rhode Island, little roadie. We have Judy Sheehan and James Lucy with us today to talk to us about marketing through specialty packaging, which is what Taylor Box does, and they do it really, really well. So welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having us. Hi.
Yes, definitely. Welcome.
So why don't we start with some introductions, and you can tell us a little bit about what your role is at Taylor Box and a little bit about yourself. And Judy, I'm going to let you go first.
Okay, great, thanks. Hi, I'm Judy, and I am leading the marketing and public relations team at Taylor Box. My responsibilities are overseeing the strategy and planning on a yearly basis for Taylor Box, and that includes everything from digital marketing campaigns to outbound marketing strategies in the entire gamut, and everything that we can be involved in and promote Taylor Box.
Wow, you must have a heck of a business card. That's a lot to put behind your name. So,
You should see the to-do list.
James, why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm James Lucy. I'm in charge of digital marketing as a specialty at Taylor Box. Primarily, my focus is writing blogs, emails, press releases, but also I'm in charge of the social media for our business as well as our sister company Portfolio Box. And we run the gamut: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, all the good stuff, LinkedIn.
Awesome. Well, I had an opportunity to come out and take a tour not too long ago of Taylor Box, and I have to say I was extremely impressed with the facility that you have there. Now, it's very deceiving from the outside because it's an older building, all right? And you go and you think, oh, this is not a very big facility. And then it's like being inside the TARDIS. It's so much bigger on the inside and just goes on forever. Yeah. And if Judy had not been guiding me through that place, I'd still be there wandering around trying to find my way out. But it was awesome. I mean, the whole production facility, everybody there, just incredibly professional and warm and inviting. Your design department, of course, is amazing. That was a highlight for me to see sort of where all of these things come, the concepts and prototypes and all of that come together. So give me just a quick little history on Taylor Box, because I'm sure that you probably spent your first 6 months there just getting indoctrinated in all of that.
They actually have a pretty intensive training program, which is one of the really impressive things about Taylor, is that they know, a lot of companies, you come in and you're sort of baptism by fire. Here you go, figure it all out.
Right.
Where they actually have you sit with everybody in the entire organization for about 6 to 8 weeks. And you actually get involved hands-on, and, the hand-making department, and sitting with the foil, going through the whole foil stamping process, and learning about every single step through the entire organization. And it's great because you get to know everybody, and you get to see what everybody's job and role is. As far as Taylor Box, they've been in business since 1885. They are a third-generation family-owned company, and they have been making brand-defining packaging this entire time. They are constantly winning awards. We have been entrusted by numerous recognizable brands and lifestyle brands nationwide. They make some amazing packaging, everything from retail to influencer kits, marketing kits, press release kits. You name it, they can make it. It can be put in a rigid box. And when I first came there, I think when I went for an interview, I was so impressed by the facility and what they made, because when you think of a box, you think of just a box or a package, but what they make makes everything stand out way beyond everything else that would sit on a shelf. It's not just the standard packaging. I mean, they make the standard packaging, but their specialty is really making it stand out and different.
And back to Justin's point, you would never know this was going on in Warren, Rhode Island. Like
know.
I've worked in Warren like my entire like adult life, and I've driven by that Taylor Box building literally hundreds of times, having no idea it was there. And then I go in for an interview, and it's like it's totally like Willy Wonka. Like it feels totally special.
Yeah, I was very, very impressed. And now, given your roles, you must work like hand in glove with one another as far as the marketing.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, but James is like, he's been there a lot longer than I have, and he knows what he's doing, and he's a phenomenal writer, and he knows, all about, he's really good at knowing the audience and understanding the customer and everything that Taylor does. So he's...
Oh, thanks, Judy.
You're welcome.
That's fantastic. So, Taylor Box, been around a long time, well known for what they do. Specialty packaging, we talked about influencer kits, we talked about, this is something, not your standard packaging. So tell us a little bit about where that comes into play and the value of that in the marketing spectrum that a small business might be looking at. If they're going to consider some sort of specialty packaging, how does that fit into everything else they're trying to do?
Well, so it depends. So if they're marketing a product and they want a packaging for a product, how do they differentiate themselves amongst all their other competition?
Okay.
What's the first thing you notice when you walk through a store? What stands out most to you is the packaging, right? So that's where it can help someone who's actually producing a product, right? So when you're trying to actually market a business, let's say a business-to-business promotion, or even a business-to-customer promotion, you can create, there's nothing like when you're doing a direct mail piece or an influencer kit or something like that. There is still such a reaction to that you can't get specifically through digital. You can, it's sort of, and it is a different tactic. It's a different marketing approach. So you're doing a direct marketing campaign where you're actually figuring out who the folks you want to send pieces to, and you're putting something in front of them that they're going to be wowed by. That is actually going to be much more memorable than if they necessarily see an ad on a website. If you get something in the mail that you open up and it is beautifully designed, even before you even take that first snap of the top of the box and open it up, and then you see this beautiful display inside, you're going to take thought of that. And that's, going to get the attention of people that you would probably have a harder time trying to get in front of otherwise. And it doesn't have to be this extremely elaborate piece. It could be a beautifully presented box with some swag inside that you want to send. And yes, it's a different strategy, whereas with digital, you're casting this wide net. Whereas with a direct mail piece, you're actually focusing in on who you want to capture and getting right in front of them without having to chase them down, and direct mail still has a big impact. And if it's one thing to mail just a flat piece, it's easily discarded. But if you're mailing something substantial, you have better chances of getting their attention.
You mentioned influencer kits a couple times. I think some of our listeners may need a little bit of an explanation, or maybe it's more specific to like what you do for the influencer kits. If you could explain just a little bit on that.
Well, you've been doing
For
a lot
sure,
of
yeah.
research.
Influencers, like as a social media phenomenon, it seems to be, I guess, more of an Instagram sort of phenomenon. But basically, it's somebody with some clout, some following, some influence on social media in a particular industry, whether it be beauty or sports or entertainment of, I don't know, what have you. You pick it, there's probably an influencer for it. And so brands will come to us or other packaging designer manufacturers to create a succinct little kit that they can send to these folks. And by virtue of their social media presence, whatever they put in this little kit, whether it's a new product or just a little sampler of what their brand has to offer, these influencers will get this kit, hopefully make a nice little video about it, or a series of posts of some kind, say, hey, look what I got, in this kit. It's super awesome. Here's this product. You should use it. You know.
Awesome. Yeah. I've seen a couple in Snapchat, Instagram stories. I think this was maybe more like a celebrity endorsement, but kind of along influencer kits. Maddie and Tay with, I think it was I don't even remember what was in the box right now because I was just scrolling through, but I saw them opening the box and like pulling out, I think it was beauty products, I'm pretty sure. So that's really cool. I think some of our listeners may not be super up to date on the influencer thing. It's kind of the new trend, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a really great explanation. And that shows just like another use of packaging and how
Yes.
it can be part of the marketing. And I think like one of the things that stood out to me is when you were talking about it's a different type of box. It's a different type of, it's not just packaging.
Yeah.
But the word experience stuck out in my mind. So people are getting these packages and it's not just a mailing, it's an experience.
Yeah, it's a user experience. Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's also the same thing with when you think about product packaging, just a plastic piece of packaging or just with let's say a liquor packaging, you have this beautiful, gorgeous box sitting on a shelf versus just a bottle with a label, which is still beautiful in itself. But then you have this beautiful extra piece of packaging. It just makes it adds so much value. I was actually using this example. You have, one of those cheap silver plastic party spoons and a piece of plastic, or you put it in a beautiful box sitting inside a beautiful insert and make it look completely sophisticated. Which one do you think is going to sell for a higher price or be much more appealing to somebody?
It's perception.
It is, yeah.
Perception of value. I think maybe we should start marketing the podcast by sending out influencer kits with little iPods preloaded with all our podcasts on it, and just see if we can get like some kind of big name.
What's
Is that
our
coming
budget?
out of your budget, Justin?
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
absolutely.
we don't have a budget for that.
Well, no, I bought a lottery ticket today. That should cover it, right?
Yeah, go with that.
Yeah, okay, all right. So, most of our audience, small business folks, a lot of them local here to Rhode Island. Have you worked with any of the local businesses here in Rhode Island and Southeast Mass?
Yeah, I know that there have been multiple clients and artists who have used Taylor Box
Okay.
Yeah,
for a variety of packaging.
Okay, so P&W Glass in, I guess they're downtown Providence, do fantastic glasswork, RISD alum. Siren Marine in Newport does this really cool, do you remember OnStar for
Yeah.
your car when that was a
Yeah,
thing? It's basically the equivalent for boats. And they'll do it's basically an app that's connected to your phone that'll do all this sensory diagnostics for your boat, and we did
Okay.
the whole suite of packaging for them.
Titleist.
Titleist, of course, is another huge one.
Sure.
They've given us plenty of sweet business.
Awesome.
So do you guys have favorite client projects that you've worked on that stand out to you? Did I steal anybody's question? Sorry. I'm dying because this stuff is so cool. I know we're on a podcast right now, but we are going to.
We're going to put
yeah.
a video up after of some of
You
the
have to
stuff.
see it. And if I guess touching it would be even better, but we'll just have to do a video
I
for
don't
now.
think they've come up with that type of
Yeah.
technology yet.
So your favorite, coolest project internally that you can share?
For me, probably some of the Cemetery Dance Stephen King. There's a new one for Gwendy's Buttons that came out, and the thing I love about this one piece, it's a company called Cemetery Dance, and they represent Stephen King. And we do a lot of their slip cases and specialty packaging because they do specialty limited release editions. And this one actually has a coin, one of the Gwendy's Button coin inside with Stephen King's face embossed on it.
That's scary. In itself.
Yeah, it is. It's a little
goodness.
much
It
to look
is.
at.
It is, but the thing I love about this package so much is that it's the outside is foil stamped and it's not overdone. It's really sophisticated and just in simple beauty. But what they did is it's like a gold foil emboss and then this turquoise blue emboss, and then it's a hot stamp, but it's without any foil. It's just the reaction of the hot stamp with the paper, and it
Oh.
just gives it such a beautiful effect.
Right,
It's probably
interesting.
one of my favorite pieces.
Yeah, Speaking of I know I mentioned our sister company, Portfolio Box, earlier, but they do really incredible work for a lot of a lot of stuff in the art world, basically. So if you've ever seen or read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Ralph Steadman, the artist, has worked with Portfolio Box, and we did an awesome portfolio for him. And just like the foil stamping, like customized to like that sort of specific, like the font that is the Fear and Loathing like font that Ralph Steadman is like, associated with. It really shows like the specificity and like the agility of the kind of work we can do with our foil stamping. Pretty much anything is possible. Like it's so customizable. It's just a really cool looking portfolio. And then all the Game of Thrones stuff, of course.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah, I was, Judy showed me some of the Game of Thrones stuff when I came in to take a tour. That's just awesome. I mean, now there was one piece, maybe it was Gillette. What was the one where it opened up and then the insert in the box just raised up? Is that Game of Thrones? Or?
Both, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, both, actually. So the Game of Thrones is split in the center, and then when you open it, the inside tray lifts up, and that reveals an iPad, and I think it was...
A pair of headphones.
Yeah, a pair of headphones.
Wow.
And then the Gillette box did the same thing. That was, I think, a little bit more elaborate. It had metal engraved pieces along the top, and then you opened it up, and the inside tray came up, and inside was a new line of shaving products that they had created.
But
It's a
it was
beautiful
so
piece.
cool to open up that lid and see the inside of the box just raise up. I mean, it was like, wow, this is so awesome. I mean, it could have been... It could have been a 10-cent plastic kazoo in that box.
Yeah.
But the fact that it came out of that, I was like, so awesome.
Yeah.
If you were talking to some of the small business owners here in Little Rhodey, how might you advise them to think about, their packaging? I know you brought a small piece here, this the small blue box, which is beautiful, and it's not very elaborate, and it's very, very simple, but just maybe you could explain that one a little bit and what you did for that piece.
Do you want to talk about it since you were here?
Yeah. I mean, so for this one, this was our holiday mailer for 2017, and this was kind of just internal to us at Taylor Box to send out to our clients and our customers as a thank you. But it does demonstrate, I think, our capabilities pretty well. If you're going to do a smaller box like this is really well suited for jewelry or little keepsakes, things like that.
Right, and that's, what is that, like maybe 5 by 5?
Yeah, you could give it that.
Like a typical jewelry size box, like what you would
and it
get a
has this
bracelet in or something.
Super nice
It's
sliding
really neat.
action.
It's really neat.
Yeah. And I think you can see the foil stamping, the different colored, paper wraps,
The insert.
as well. Like a lot of our capabilities are kind of demonstrated through this. I know you can't necessarily see this as I'm talking. Sorry, listeners. Yeah, so we have a pretty wide variety of capabilities at Taylor Box. Barring the most gigantic sort of products or collateral, within reason, we're pretty accommodating to the sort of products that you might have to offer if you're a Rhode Island small business.
Right.
So what's the biggest piece you guys have done?
Oh boy, I know we did a giant human-sized portfolio, 2 panels for Portfolio Box one time, but I think that was a one-off.
Sure.
And I don't think that was in any way mass-produced.
When you say it was body size, that's not what was in the box.
No, no, we aren't. Retailing human bodies.
Okay, just
thank you
asking.
for clarifying.
That's scary in of itself.
Yeah.
Was it for Stephen King?
No, it was some artist.
We did this body size box for a local company over on the hill. They said they just needed one.
No,
was all they
we
needed.
didn't ask questions.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So
We've gone there already, haven't we?
I'm sorry.
No, I really can't. I'm not really sure what the biggest is, but we've packaged tennis rackets.
wow.
The Game of Thrones blanket box.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. Then there are some retailers whose name we can't tell you.
That's fine.
That has some pretty good sized boxes. They do. I will say that they do apparel, luxury apparel. So almost like this, sort of old school Coke box or one that you would get in a store. How they used to package.
Cool.
They have some pretty large boxes, but some of the portfolios. There's ones out in the studio right now that I don't know, probably this tall. what is the, sorry, you can't see. I'd say probably like 4 feet plus.
Okay. Well, I mean, such a wide range of stuff. But what's nice about the small piece that we were talking about before is that would be like you guys sent it out as a holiday item, and that's very distinctive. I mean, think about all of the cards you get, from different companies, and it's like you get them, you open them, you go, yeah, and they go in the circular
toss
file.
them.
You toss them, right? But something like this, it has such an inherent value to it, and such a haptic quality to it that you're not going to be just tossing this out, and the fact that you put something, the insert inside has the seeds inside so you can plant that and it grows. It's like just such a wonderful little piece that goes a long way to keeping your business top of mind with your clients versus just the typical, photo holiday card, which is going to last all of like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Exactly, and typically end up in the trash. And one thing we always talk about is that rigid packaging usually stays around a lot longer, not just, because we talk about sustainability. It stays around a lot longer as people use it as keepsakes. Other boxes, depending on the size, people will keep them and put things in them and put them in the closet or put them on a shelf.
How many of us have Altoid tins at home that don't have Altoids in them anymore, but something else?
Guilty. I think I got one
Exactly.
over there somewhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're the paper rigid box of the Altoid tin.
Awesome. So we've been talking a lot about, the things that you're doing for your clients, but we're also interested in knowing what are some of the things that Taylor Box is doing in regards to their own marketing. Now, I've seen some of your videos, which are terrific. I think you guys, you have them on your social media and on your website. But I know you've done some other things. Judy, you've talked to me about some of the trade shows. So talk to me about some of the things that you're doing in 2019 to just sort of stay top of mind as a specialty packaging company.
Okay, so as a new person, I came in and sort of did an evaluation of what is really working and what is working, but how to focus on what's working best for us and where we need to focus. And one of the things that's really working well for Taylor Box is inbound leads and the website, and they're getting a lot of traffic, and it's how do we improve that? Well, in October, we did Markin Shed, who is Dan Shed's daughter, and the marketing team that was there actually put together a brand new website, and they launched in October. But there is still a lot that goes on. I know for many of you who have built websites, there's still a lot that needs to go on. So
Yeah, I noticed your photos missing on the website.
we just had those done, and we included our mascot Oliver,
Oh, nice.
who's Dan's dog, and he hangs out with us regularly. He's our mascot. There's a lot that still needs to be done for the website, so we're going to focus a lot on that and making sure our SEO is done correctly, all the images are redone, and everything is done properly as we upload them to gain more traffic. And then we really looked at who our target markets are, and we're building a whole digital marketing campaign. We're rolling out different markets because there are a lot of markets that we focus on. The creative designers, printers, and then you get into, various different types of industries. It's not just, we're just industries. We deal a lot with creative people. Designers, marketing agencies, creative agencies, public relation agencies, and then we do a lot of work with printers. So those are our two main markets, but then there's also all the brands and where do those brands fall, and universities and colleges and cruise lines. It's just endless because they do welcome kits and real estate kits and all these different things. So where do we start and then where do we go? So I built a 3-year marketing plan, and how do we roll each of these out? So we're working on developing a digital marketing campaign, starting with the creatives and then with the printers, with paid advertisements, landing pages, emails, content offerings, and then physical box offerings. This is a whole part of the plan through the whole buyer's journey. So we're going to do a lot of work on that. We were doing a lot of trade shows, and we decided to take a little bit of a step back this year because, we're a small company. We do have, it's James and I, and then we have an outside resource that we do that helps with our SEO. He also does our video. It's Patrick.
Shout out to
Lantern.
Patrick.
Yeah, shout out to Patrick. He's fabulous. He's great to work with.
Okay.
We love Patrick. And so we wanted to take a step back with the trade shows, because trade shows for me, I've worked in a lot of big companies, a lot of big industries. And when it came to Taylor, one of the reasons I wanted a complete change. I wanted to get out of the corporate world and start working with a creative environment for a small company. And, typically when we do trade shows, they spend a lot of money, but they have the money, when you're working with a smaller company, you have to be very budget conscious, but you need to get the most out of whatever you do. There's not as much leverage for, making mistakes and learning from those mistakes. So when you're doing trade shows, for me, there's a lot of strategy behind it. And that's building a process and training people and getting them up to speed. And we are doing a couple shows this year, and I just implemented a new process, and it worked out actually significantly well. And a lot of people think that you create a banner, you do your tablecloth, you get your literature, and you show up. And that's great, but there is so much more that you can get out of a trade show. And that is, being proactive. Seeing if you can get that unicorn where they send you that pre-show list, that's fantastic. And you should take every advantage of that as possible. In fact, we just did a show where what we did is we chose the top 10 people that we really wanted to get in front of. Sales team sent them a package, but then followed up with them to try to get meetings with them at the show. And then we sent out an email introducing ourselves, and we set up a calendar schedule online. Say if you'd like to meet with us one-on-one, you can schedule automatically. And we got about 8 appointments, which is pretty good. It was a small show. It's only about 200 people, but they were people that we really wanted to get in front of. And then we actually got a couple of requests, even prior to the show, multiples during the show and after the show. So it actually worked out really well for us to do that. And then it also got us noticed, so people actually stopped by to learn more about what we were doing, and we did some follow-up. So it was a really good, we got a good result. They had multiple meetings with multiple people that they were able to set up. They had other people call them directly, and they scheduled dinners and lunches, and we got a lot of opportunity out of that. But then there's also speaking opportunities that you can do. There's press releases if you're releasing a new product. Podcasts. A funky giveaway. But the thing about giveaways is you really don't want to, it's great to get a bazillion leads, but if they're not the right leads, you're just kind of wasting your time and money. So this show actually worked out very well for us, and I want to implement that moving forward. And so since we're a small team, and I think the big focus this year is the digital aspect, we're only going to do one more small show, and then we're going to look at doing more shows next year.
So I've been watching some of the Box of the Month videos that you've been putting on social media. Have you gotten good feedback on those?
On the videos or the box of because so James does these 2 fabulous pieces every month. It's the Box of the Month and the Portfolio of the Month.
Yep.
Where it's a blog post and he does an email blast, and then we do the videos, which is box talks.
But there is some crossover there. I mean, a lot of those box talks will be boxes of the month. But yeah, so I mean, we've definitely gotten, I think, tremendous response from that. It's something that I think our clients look forward to, our contacts. I know we've gotten, I was in the office the other day, and one of my office mates, Stuart, got an inquiry directly from one of those portfolio Box of the Month. So, I mean, there's definitely ROI for sure on those. Just having that kind of content where you can have rich visuals along with some detailed content that maybe explains the process a little, what we can offer, with some nice clicky links. It's huge. I think it's had a great return for us.
That's great. And that's something that, a small manufacturer could take advantage of, featuring their capabilities, featuring their products,
Absolutely.
and having those opportunities to make those multiple touches. Like you said, it's posted on social media, but you do an email blast as well. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's worked out really well. I think it's something that our audience looks forward to, and I certainly have fun doing it.
Cool.
And he does a fabulous job with it. If you want to read, James does such a great job appealing to people's emotions because he tells such a great story. If you want to see a great example is to read his blog post on the Gosling's Old Rum Box.
Oh, okay.
Which is on our website.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it was really great.
We'll definitely post a direct link to that too.
Oh,
Like we'll
please,
link the
thank you.
website, but we'll reference that one specifically because that it does take creative work to, make something into a story instead of just writing, we produced a box and,
Yeah.
it's got some writing on it.
Yeah.
No, we've done several podcasts on storytelling, and that's an important part of, marketing. And
Yeah.
it's great that you're able to, you've got the talent to do that with these pieces.
Well, I think the work really kind of makes it easy, and I think packaging, and I don't know, maybe it sounds kind of corny, but it's conducive to like storytelling. Like Alicia mentioned experience earlier, so like the packaging experience, it's sort of a theatrical thing, right? There's like a beginning, a middle, and an end. You see the box, you kind of open it, you get a sense of it, and then you arrive at the product, and it's kind of this whole process. What's guiding you through that? What like elements of this box are like accentuating things or guiding me? It's cool. Like I couldn't really, if I didn't work at Taylor Box, I probably wouldn't be able to like have that kind of like a resource. You know what I mean? Like if this was just, I don't know, Corrugated Company of Rhode Island, like it wouldn't be the same. But like just the level and the variety of stuff we do makes my job pretty easy.
Right. Yeah. I probably hard to get excited over blister packs.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
not so thrilling.
Okay. Wow. Well, thanks so much for coming in and talking to us about all of the wonderful things that Taylor Box is doing and for bringing these samples. We're going to, like we said, we're going to do a video and feature some of these, which we'll include as sort of bonus content for this episode. But it's been great just learning about sort of the process and the thinking behind how you market and how you help these other businesses market as well. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for
Thank
joining
you
Thank you for
guys.
having us.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And now, if someone wanted to find you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
You can email me at judith@taylorbox.com. You can go to our website at taylorbox.com.
Follow us on Instagram at TBC Boxer.
There you go. Okay.
And now you work with all kinds of businesses, small to large.
Yeah, and a lot of everything from, Fortune 50 companies and big brands to small startup companies who are launching products.
Great. So pretty much anybody that listens to our podcast.
Absolutely.
Could use them,
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. So thanks again so much for coming on.
Thank you again
Yeah,
for
thank
having
you.
us.
And with that, I think it's that time every week to say goodbye for the week, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Thank you for joining us today. And as always, you can find the back episodes of our podcast on Apple Podcasts, and you can also find us on our YouTube channel. Both of them are the Marketing Essentials team.
You can find us on the web at marketingessentialsteam.com. And if you subscribe through our website, you'll receive a weekly email and letting you know when each episode has been published. Also, you'll receive a link to subscriber-only content.
You can also find us on Facebook and our private Facebook group. Just search Little Roadie Marketing Support Group. It's a great place for other marketing professionals and business owners where we can share marketing advice, challenges, and general trends. Hope to see you there.